It's like 4.
Tears. It's April 26th, 2019, and the last broadcast of the semester. I'm Ian Callahan.
And I'm Ivana Dias. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
It's now been almost a week since the devastating attacks in Sri Lanka, which took 250 lives and left the world in shock. This is the worst violence the South Asian island has seen since its civil war over a decade ago. The situation has continued to unfold throughout the week. On Monday, the Sri Lankan government admitted that they'd received warnings about the attacks days before and failed to act on them. A government spokesperson told reporters, quote, "We saw the warnings and we saw the details given. We are very, very sorry. As a government, we have to say, we have to apologize to the families and the institutions about this incident," end quote. He later added families would be compensated and churches rebuilt. Tuesday was declared a national day of mourning. Tuesday also saw ISIS claiming responsibility for the attacks. However, there's been no direct evidence connecting the bombers and the terrorist group. On Thursday, Israel's counterterrorism unit issued a travel warning for Sri Lanka, raising the threat level to indicate a high concrete threat. This is alongside the already declared state of emergency and dusk till dawn curfew, which has been in place since Monday. And that brings us to today. And as of this broadcast, there have been no new developments.
Columbia Parkway was shut down this morning due to a landslide. The road was shut down at 6 a.m., diverting traffic at William Howard Taft Road. Crews from Cincinnati Public Services responded to the scene and have begun to clean up the landslide. They hope to have the road open by the end of the night.
Talk about perfect timing. Right as we're about to leave for summer break, Cincinnati decides to open a food truck park. Right now, it's an empty parking lot, but by next week, Kellogg Avenue will be transformed into the Queen City's premier hub for fine dining. Cincinnati City Councilman P.G. Sittenfeld got the idea for the park after a visit to Austin, Texas, and he actually convinced the whole city council of the idea. To be fair, Cincinnati does have an overabundance of food trucks with over 140 registered, but those truckers will be happy to hear about the park where up to 10 of them can rent spots at a time on a busy road right by the Riverbend Music Center. If you're interested, the address is 4601 Kellogg Avenue in the East End. The grand opening is next Friday, May 3rd. Maybe stop by before you head home, as it won't be open too long when we get back.
The Down Syndrome Association of Greater Cincinnati has been doing some great work.
Here's Johnny Leinart with the story.
Hello, I am Kathleen Shield, and I am an intern here at the DSAGC. Typically what they have us do is just do like office work, like answering telephones and watering their plants and making them look nice, stuff like that. I helped out with writing out thank you letters to the donors and things like that.
My name is Shannon Thomas. I am a Xavier University alum, and I have been volunteering with the Down Syndrome Association for 6 years. I started my volunteering as a peer partner. I'm currently leader of a group of 6 guys with Down syndrome, ranging from 21 to 35, 40. We do a social outing every single month, go to a Reds game, Cyclones game, bowling, go out to dinner, and basically it's just facilitating and fostering friendships, helping them with management, social appropriateness, and just kind of engaging on a friendship level. A lot of the events that the association holds helps advocate for those with Down syndrome. So through the Buddy Walk, it helps fundraise and raise social awareness for Down syndrome as a whole. But the events as a whole, I think, bring the Down syndrome community together. It also helps the outside world see what people with Down syndrome are capable of.
The DSAGC as a whole is just an organization that's ongoing. It's every day, and there's just a spark there and that I see, and is just a wonderful thing.
The Ready to Hire program is really cool for people with Down syndrome. I think one thing that often can be seen with people with disabilities or Down syndrome is that they're not capable of holding a job, or they don't have those skills to work every day, but that's completely untrue. And I think the Ready to Hire program really helps not only prepare the individual with Down syndrome to fulfill those types of roles in the world, but also for the outside world to see what they're actually capable of doing.
I love what I do, and I love the fact that I'm working here and I'm fulfilling the needs of working with the organization. The organization is a wonderful organization. It really is, because they do a lot. They have parties, they have dances every February, and it's a great organization because it redefines everybody's dream. And just like my dream has come true, because since I've always wanted to work in office, and I've always wanted to do some things that I haven't done before, and that's what made me decide to do something like that, to get out of the house and to be spontaneous and just see the world and be me again, and the DSAGC helps with that.
The end of another school year here at old Xavier University. But if you were thinking that your last few weeks on campus had to be boring, think again, my friend. There's a lot going on these upcoming weeks, and I'm here to lay it all down for you. First of all, there's literally something right after this broadcast ends. The Holi celebration on the Xavier Yard begins at 3:30. Be there or be square, but obviously wait till the end of the broadcast before you go. Also, today is the Don't Tell Anna show at 9. It might make you chuckle. Tomorrow at noon, catch the End the Stigma 5K walk and run at Cintas, but keep your energy up for the CFJ Service of Remembrance at Bellarmine Chapel at 2 on Sunday. Next week is jam-packed with events. There's the Survivors Speak event at the Circle Monday at 6, and the Beethoven Choral Fantasy at the Gallagher Theater Tuesday at 7:30, followed by the Women's Institute for Leadership Development info session noon at Fenwick on Wednesday, and Xavier Fest to round it all out Friday at 4. Wow, that is a lot of events, and that's not even it. Late night breakfast starts the Monday after that in the CAF at 9. Will these events ever end? Yes, that's the last one.
Next Tuesday, April 30th, the De-Stress Fest will be held from 1:30 to 4:30 on the Xavier Yard. The Student Success Center invites you to participate in various activities to treat yourself, reduce stress, practice mindfulness, and connect to resources on campus as you prepare for finals.
All right, that's all from the news desk, people.
We'll be right back with Paul Frischner and the Xavier Sports Report.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final edition of the Xavier Sports Report for the year. I'm Paul Frischner, and we have an absolutely jam-packed week of news to recap, so buckle up. Here we go. We'll start with the headline news of the week. Last weekend, the women's golf team was in South Carolina for the Big East Championship, and the Musketeers ran away from the competition to win their first conference championship in program history. As a team, the ladies won by 14 strokes, and junior Michaela Fitzpatrick won the individual championship by 9 strokes. And because they won the conference championship, the team will compete in the NCAA tournament for the first time. During the selection show on Wednesday, the team found out that they'll be playing in the East Lansing Regional, which will take place from May 6th to the 8th. On the men's side, Xavier is playing this weekend in the Big East Championship at the same course as the women in South Carolina. The Musketeers are seeded 5th in the tournament. The tennis teams also competed in their Big East Championships last weekend. While the men fell in the first round to number 1 seed St. John's Red Storm, the women played in the title match, carrying an 18-match winning streak into the weekend and having not lost since February 1st. The Musketeers got a bye for the first round and dispatched Georgetown in the second round to advance to the semifinals, where, after rain postponed the match for a day, the ladies emerged with a close 4-3 victory over St. John's to advance to the championship. Trailing 3-0 against DePaul, Xavier stormed back to tie the match 3-3, but fell at the very end in the final spot of the afternoon as DePaul took the Big East Championship 4-3. That concludes the season for the women's tennis team, and while they'll not be playing in the NCAA tournament, there is certainly nothing to be ashamed about in winning 20 straight matches and setting a program record with 22 wins on the season. Now, the baseball team embarks on what is probably their most important series of the season this weekend as they travel to Omaha, Nebraska to take on the Creighton Blue Jays in a 3-game set. Now, Xavier right now, they sit at 7-1 in Big East play and in first place in the conference with 8 games remaining. But Creighton, they sit in second place with a record of 5-1. So tonight's game begins at 7:30, and you can watch it on the Big East Digital Network. Saturday's game starts at 3. First pitch for Sunday is set for 1. If you want to watch those games, they can be viewed through a video stream on Creighton's website. New women's basketball coach Melanie Moore announced the hiring of her coaching staff this week. Candace Finley, who comes to Xavier after spending 2 years at the University of Massachusetts, was hired as an assistant coach, and she'll also be the recruiting coordinator. Mary Grimes was named as an assistant coach, and she joins the Musketeers after 2 seasons at Lemoyne College. Dan Lang was named the team's 3rd assistant coach, and he joins the staff after spending 7 years at SUNY Sullivan as their head coach. And then finally, Kelsey Arendt comes to Xavier after 5 years at Coach Moore's previous school, Michigan. Arendt was named the assistant athletic director for women's basketball. The men's soccer team hosts Northwestern on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. right down the hill at the Xavier Soccer Complex in the 8th edition of Devon's Game. The game honors Coach Andy Fleming's daughter, Devon, who was born with Down syndrome in 2011. Ticket proceeds will benefit the Down Syndrome Association of Greater Cincinnati. It's truly a great event, so if you have a chance, try to make it down to the game tomorrow night. And now, here is one final Fritzner Friday fun fact. In honor of the NFL draft taking place right now, I thought I'd go with a football theme. During the 1943 season, there was a shortage of players due to military service for World War II. Therefore, interstate rivals Philadelphia and Pittsburgh were forced to merge, and they played 1 season as the Philadelphia-Pittsburgh Steagles. The players on that team had to keep full-time jobs, and the 2 cities were only merged as a team for that 1 season. So, now you know. Well, Musketeers, it's time to sign off one final time. To say this job has been fun would be an understatement. To say I have had great experiences wouldn't do it justice, and to just say that I'm grateful would not be sufficient. Thank you to each and every person who has helped me over the last 4 years get to where I am today. To name everyone individually, I would need way more time than I have right now. But just know that I am incredibly appreciative of everything you all have done for me. Thank you all to the coaches and the players who have been generous with your time because, frankly, without talking to you, I wouldn't have had any stories to tell. And lastly, thank you to all the Xavier fans I've met in person or interacted with online. You all are the reason this job is so fun. I was fortunate enough to spend 4 years covering sports for a school that I love, and I will be forever grateful for everything Xavier allowed me to do and accomplish. It was a fun ride, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to bring you broadcasts down the road. Thank you again, everyone. Let's go X.